The U.S., Qatar, and Egypt calling on Israel and Hamas to finalize a hostage and ceasefire deal in a bid to calm rising tensions in the Middle East. The three nations inviting Israel and Hamas to a summit next week to finalize a deal. Talks stalled after the assassinations of a Hezbollah commander and the leader of Hamas. Today, a senior Hamas official was killed in Lebanon, adding potential for further escalation in that very region. We're joined now by Jonathan Wachtel, former Director of Communications and Senior Policy Advisor at the U.S. mission to the United Nations. Jonathan, great to see you again. So both Israel and the militia group Hezbollah launched small-scale attacks today. We haven't seen anything large-scale as of yet. How likely is it that Iran will react?
Oh, there's still a very strong chance that they'll do something. You know, there's some scutterbug saying that they may decide to pause because they're getting some of their geopolitical wants fulfilled, including having the replacement of Hania Sinwar, their guy.
Yeah.
So they have more sway and control over Iran, more than arguably Turkey and Egypt have a role in there. So there is some talk that maybe Iran may hold back a bit and try to leverage things so that this deal would get done, and then they've got in motion having representation in the Gaza Strip in favor of what they aspire to do, and try to push through what China's been trying to do, which is trying to work out some sort of reconciliation between Hamas and Fatah, their rivals, the Palestinian Authority, and try to work out some sort of leadership there that would have that extreme representation of Hamas in it and force Israel to deal with it.
We know Hezbollah's leader made a speech earlier this week. It was in response to the killing of one of its commander. I'm going to read it for our viewers. It says, quote, "Let the enemy and those who stand behind them await our inevitable response." Jonathan, we know the U.S. is trying to de-escalate the situation. Do you think the U.S. diplomatic efforts are working so far?
I mean, imagine you're Iran and you've got the United States begging you not to act on something. It certainly gives them some more
power.
Yeah, it does. It actually does. So whether they want to play along with this and in the meantime continue to work toward getting their nuclear weapons in place, I mean, they are enriching uranium, and the State Department has just come out and acknowledged that just a couple of weeks away from going you know, in pursuit of those nuclear weapons, if they don't have it already. I mean, there's some corners who say that they've already developed a nuclear weapon.
That's terrifying.
It is, because you have a government there that is not particularly warm and cuddly. Yeah, it is terrifying to have that. And what happens, you know, when a country has nuclear weapons behind their sails, they feel more empowered, more emboldened to act more forcefully in the region and try to force their aspirations. So yeah, it is a very difficult situation if that's the case.
And Israel obviously responding. The defense minister, Yoav Gallant, says if Hezbollah continues its aggression, Israel will fight with all its might. We know the White House is telling Israel they have the right to defend themselves. The U.S. has been supporting Israel. But is that the best way for the U.S. to bring down the tension, by telling Israel or telling to the world, hey, they have a right to defend themselves?
The basic truth is the level of fighting, though we're saying it's not intensive, it already has been over and over again the type of thing that does open up a war.
Sure.
So there's been this restraint, both on the part of the Israelis and Hezbollah to a degree in Iran, and it's just ready to blow up. So, you know, where is that moment? Where is that trigger? Where do things just get too intense that actually holding back from a full-fledged conflagration? We're right there. I mean, it can really happen. And now we're hearing, you know, threats from Iran that they would involve the Syrian proxies that they have, the Iraqi proxies they have, the Houthis in Yemen, everyone. So you'd have Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, the proxies within Syria and Iraq, and Iran itself, you know, jumping in here in one go. Well, that would be pretty cataclysmic.
I think that's the right word. How worried should we be, Jonathan, about something like that happening?
It really could happen. If it did happen, then obviously the response would be extremely intense from the Israeli end, because that is not just an existential threat. It's really an existential threat. So you throw what you can at that to try to defend yourself.
Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.